Hello, welcome to Tinker Club. My name is Leanne Nugent,
And I'm Micah Adler.
and we are here to show, not tell. So, we were just brainstorming amongst ourselves on how we would improve our videos. And I wanted to just share the progression of my knowledge of Descript. So, I love what I've been able to learn. So, in an effort of sharing the progress, this is something that I unlocked recently. So, for example, on my field service office hours channel, I started to create an intro and an outro. These are considered scenes, and I was able to style a layout and I was able to add some logos so that it's so much easier. Let me just expand this so that it's easier to when I'm editing, all I have to do is just apply the template now and then just adjust the title. So as I was looking through here with what I would do for us here with Tinker Club, just as a quick feature set capability, usually what I do is I come through in the beginning and I right click and I cut, split this clip and I cut it. And then I'll add a scene here, and then it inserts a 5-second scene. And from there, I'll go to project. So let me just quickly do it because it'll just be 2 seconds. Split clip. So I delete this and then I right click in here and I say add scene. Maybe I have to do it in a different add scene at playhead. So it depends on where you're clicking. I'd seen it playhead. So the where your line is, that's your playhead. So there's my 5 seconds. I'm zoomed in, so that's why it looks so big. And from here, you can insert a scene. And based off of the layout, I was able to create my own layout pack, which is in my drive. So it took me a while to figure this out, saving the right scenes, and then you can actually edit them going forward. But for us, we would want to create for Tinker Club our own intro. And then what I did here too was for this particular one, I could, let's just go click here. Let me just go here. Yes. Okay. So I can choose the layout pack, go to drive, go here. And then for us, there we go. That's the layout pack. And it applies super quickly to the whole video. So if I applied, let's just say, the intro, so there's a lot of intros that I have. Oh no, where's my other new intro that I did? Maybe I never saved it. But I've got this intro clean, outro clean. As you can see, I evolved it, right? So first it started off as this intro where it was just like feels like high school level. And then it has since evolved to be more a little bit more design focused. And then from the field service one, change layout packs, see layouts. One more. Here we go. You can see so much more. So it all saves there and you can just repeat it. So I would want to create one for us so that it's on brand and on design and give a nice clean experience.
Very cool. Very
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
I've been loving Descript.
It seems like there's so much stuff you can do with Descript, and it does. For example, I had done Opus Pro,
Okay.
which doesn't do all of this stuff. So yeah, it seems very useful.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right.
So should I go through mine real quick?
Yeah, might as well. Let's see what
Oh,
you got working on.
okay, I'll just do it super quick. So last week I talked about, I believe, MCP servers and Claude in Anthropic. So that does really cool things. And I believe that's going to be the future because everybody seems to be adopting MCP servers. So this week, on that vein, I'm going to show you that ChatGPT is also implementing a MCP server workflow. So this is the way you get to it. It has to be ChatGPT Plus. And I think we talked about it previously, but I really think that either as an individual, if you use ChatGPT Plus, the positives are that it has memory, meaning that it will take all of your previous information and be able to access that. So every conversation I've had, it will access that. And I think that's pretty powerful for teams who want to adopt ChatGPT. There's also extra security layers, which seem pretty cool. So, like maybe it's a small business or nonprofits, they could theoretically utilize ChatGPT Plus and Teams, and then they can share projects and share information, share insights. So that's cool. But if you look here, you click here and you go to settings here. Within settings, there's a thing called connectors, which is new. They just introduced it last week. And then these are all the connectors they have. So you can connect, for example, Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Drive, HubSpot,
Oh my
GitHub,
gosh.
yeah, Outlook Calendar, Outlook Email, SharePoint Teams. And then I think in the future, they're setting it up so you can just add in another service to an MCP server. They haven't finished, I think. This is beta and it works pretty good. It doesn't work as well as the cloud version, depending on your CRM or connected tool. You have permissions. So if you have the permissions to, for example, read and write, for the Claude one, you can read and write, and there's a lot of stuff you can do. Like you could do research, send an email, and do all this stuff at one time. Whereas with this one, the ChatGPT connectors, you can only do view.
Oh, I see.
So it's limited, it's in beta, but like the way people should think about these types of services is they're not going to get worse. They're going to continue to get better at a very rapid rate because they're competing with other services. So if ChatGPT can't do this as well as Claude, people are not going to subscribe to OpenAI's version and vice versa. That's why there's this arms race. You know, an
Exactly.
example, I could say the tools are here and you have to run the deep search in order to use this one, which is also a little bit irritating because it takes a bit of time. But I can
Mm,
say, what are my calendar events for
that's
today?
so cool.
So since I have, you can see here, I have Gmail, Google, HubSpot connected, then I can ask questions for any of these services. Future state, theoretically, I could ask, for example, ChatGPT, give me a list of prospects and then please send out the emails for me. Currently, it doesn't do that, but that is definitely something that it could do in a
Wow.
future state. So if I go here and I press what are my calendar events for today, and then it asks me a question just to make sure. Would you like me to check your Google Calendar for today's events? And do you want events from all calendars or just specific ones? Just the main calendar, please. There. And then it asks like a question or two. Depends on the context of the conversation. If
Mhm.
you read within the context of the conversation, then it's going to be quicker. And then you can be less specific because it's already knows the content of the
Wow.
conversation. There's also this. You can see that I use the research version
Yeah.
over. So then I don't like this about ChatGPT. They're limiting me till June 26th, which is irritating.
Long time from now.
Yeah. So what can I do about it? You could
You could
go,
upgrade.
you could put more coins into the slot machine. And yeah, so that's irritating. But as you can see, it still works. So
Yeah.
it's using a different lighter version for deep research. It
Mhm.
works, but it's more limited. And they didn't warn me about this. They didn't say, hey, this would happen on June 26th. So
Mhm.
that
I didn't
for
know that either. That's good to know.
yeah. So you gotta be strategic about which version you're gonna use. If it's just something simple like this, maybe, then should use GPT-4o because that's not a difficult question. And then O3 has limits as well. So if you ask too many
Mhm.
on O3, then it does this thing where it's going to limit you for a certain amount of days as well. So I think that's useful to know. The only last thing is there's been a super big improvement on the voice. So it like has pauses, it laughs, it sings, it's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's I can't really demo it here, but
right.
it is getting close to being her-esque style. So yeah, so
Yeah.
this is my stuff, what I have today. I'm not gonna show it, but these
Yeah,
are
that's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Thanks for letting me know that the connectors are there. So I just finished connecting Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Drive. I do want to be sure about which it's the full drive. I wish I could just select a little pocket, but I guess it's the idea is to upload files, or is it actually reading the files in my Google Drive?
So it can access the files. So when you go through the connector connection process, it will
Mhm.
say, this is what I can do. So
I
there,
see.
yeah. So if you
It's
were,
just, oh, it's deep research and file upload. So it would be there for deep research only.
yeah. So
I see. Same thing with the Google Calendar.
yeah. So
Are you okay?
with those ones, it's going to be, and it would be better if it's granular.
Mm.
Doesn't seem to be as of yet. But for something like SharePoint, like you could have a SharePoint site, which would be specific to certain documents. That would be, then you would be able to be more granular with it. And then
Got it.
also the other thing regarding permissions, if you're connected, then it's your permissions. And if somebody else is connected with their other, for example, Google Workspace account, it's going to be their permissions. So the permissions are controlled by who's connected with what account.
Yeah, that makes sense. I did notice that they did have a connector for Linear. Have you ever played with Linear yet?
I've not played with linear.
No, me too. So that's interesting. So waiting for Lovable to get on that horse because that would be pretty cool. Because it is interesting. I'm looking to ChatGPT to help me brainstorm, and then I asked ChatGPT to create a prompt for Lovable. That's I'm trying to be more efficient with, I guess, the tokens that I'm using at in these developer sites or
There was a way to connect. Oh, okay. Here it is. Here, 1 second. ChatGPT, if you go into ChatGPT, here, 1 second. So if you go into the desktop version, there's a way to act with services such as Cursor. And I don't know about Lovable. I don't
right,
remember.
because I don't think there's a desktop. I don't know if there's a desktop version for Lovable. I don't think so.
No, no, there's a desktop version for ChatGPT.
I know,
And then,
but is there a desktop version for Cursor?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I guess that's what my point is. Like, if it's downloaded onto your computer, ChatGPT, it can speak to the programs that are or the applications that are downloaded onto your computer.
I think, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. I actually don't use the desktop version of
There is,
ChatGPT.
do you have a Mac or do you have a,
I have a Mac
so yeah, there's a version. I would just download it and play with
just to
it.
see. Yeah. Okay. I'll do
Yeah,
that.
it does different things.
No. Very exciting. Thanks.
Yeah, things are moving very quickly, and
And I
yeah,
think that's the whole point of this club, right? We want to stay on top of the latest and greatest technology, but also the latest features that each application that we're working with, what they've released, because their roadmap is so vast and their velocity of producing or releasing new features is so fast.
yeah.
It's incredible how much they're advancing their feature set. So, yeah, gotta open it up and review those settings every so often because you never know what was released over the weekend or on Tuesday. You never know.
It is crazy. Things are moving very quickly. So just to keep up with it and then also utilize whatever technology is there
Yeah.
will
And I
benefit
think
us.
that this is such a good forum. So if anybody wants to join us, you're welcome. We dedicate time to tinker, learn what's new, learn what's not new, and either strengthening some basics and foundations so that as we grow and scaffold our skills, our foundations are even stronger. So, yeah, that's the objective of Tinker Club. And we would love to have you. All
For
right.
sure.
See you.
Okay, bye.